At this hour, we remain focused on Evergreen High School as we continue our coverage of the shooting. Today, students and staff returned to school to get their cars that they had to leave behind. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Sam Shocker. Tonight, 2 students remain hospitalized after being shot at their school yesterday afternoon. In the last 2 hours, the family of one of the victims, 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone, shared a picture. The family said they appreciate the community support, but added they are only focused on their loved one's recovery and respectfully request privacy.
We have live team coverage for you tonight. We are learning new details in the investigation about that timeline and who the suspect was.
Yeah, let's begin with 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles. Jennifer, we've been talking to you, I feel like, for 24 hours straight. You are on the scene. What have you learned?
Well, guys, I think one of the biggest questions everybody always has in these situations is why, and that's something that Jefferson County investigators can't answer yet. But they are starting to get a little more information on the how this happened. They told us today that they know the shooter took the bus to school yesterday. They don't know how he procured this gun or from whom, but they said he brought a lot of ammunition with him. That he fired so many times, they said. They don't even have a count of the number of times. They say he fired throughout the school. There are 3 floors of the school. They said there's a lot of broken windows inside, bullet-ridden lockers. However, they also told us, the investigators, that a lot of lives were saved yesterday because so many students and teachers knew what to do in a lockdown. Jeffco says the shooter hit roadblock after roadblock when they could not get into rooms. We know 2 students were shot. 1 was shot inside, 1 was shot outside, and the gunman ultimately shot himself. He died from those injuries. The 2 victims are still in the hospital today. Investigators said that they've got surveillance video all throughout the school, which will help them track the movements of the shooter. They've searched his home. They tell us they've talked with his family, and they are now looking through his phone, among other things, just trying to learn more about what happened here. Jefferson County investigators tell us they still don't know the why, the motive here, but they say it looks like the goal was to hurt a lot of people.
I have to believe when you bring a gun to school and you continue to fire and reload and fire and reload, that you are on a mission. And we are grateful that he was less successful, but we're devastated that he was successful at all.
As far as trying to answer the why, a motive here, Jefferson County investigators say today, that, again, they don't really know, but one thing that they're starting to learn is they believe that the shooter was somehow radicalized. My colleague Jeremy Hohola has been spending more time today trying to better understand who this young man was. Jeremy joins me as well, live out here in Evergreen tonight, and picks up the story from there. Jeremy?
Yeah, Jennifer, you've mentioned this several times. One of the biggest questions in all of this, in cases like this, that may not be answered here is the big question, why did this happen? Why did a 16-year-old boy get access to a revolver, and why did he do this? Investigators have executed at least 3 search warrants that we know of to try and get that big answer, but there is a hint this afternoon. He may have been radicalized. There are signs that he may have been radicalized, and this is coming from the sheriff's office. Now, moving forward here, we will be minimal with how we use the image of Desmond Hawley here. This is from his driver's license photo released by the sheriff's office today. This teenage boy does not have much of a footprint online that we could see or at least find. Investigators have searched his home and they have searched his high school locker. One of the most notable revelations to come out today from the sheriff's office is the fact that this boy may have been radicalized, but they will not say anything else beyond that term, which of course raises all sorts of questions like, what was this teenage boy consuming online? Who was he talking to? Which leads us to the fact investigators have also filed a search warrant for his cell phone.
It was stated to us specifically that was radicalized through an extremist network. And clearly we take that very seriously. There's obviously a lot of work that has to go into looking at his phone, looking at his social media pages, searching his room, searching his backpack. There's just searching his locker. There's a lot of places to look that we hope will just give us better information as to what he was attempting to do and maybe the why. Sometimes we never find out why.
And obviously that radicalization reference there brings up all sorts of questions. Investigators are also looking into how this teenage boy got access to this revolver. In Colorado, it is a law that people have to keep their guns secured from all people who are unauthorized to get access to a gun especially children. We've been told investigators are also looking at that legal avenue, so we'll see what happens here in the next coming weeks and months. But we've been told the suspect's parents are cooperating with investigators. Back to you.
Yeah, Jeremy, what a sobering, I mean, we think about how much our children are online, and what a sobering revelation to know that he possibly was radicalized online. That's something that we will have to unpack and learn more in later days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jeremy Hohola, thank you.
Today, the Jeffco Sheriff set up a resource center at Bergen Meadows Elementary School. Jeffco Sheriff's Office also has investigators in there in case someone saw something, witnessed something that they haven't told officials about yet. This is for students, staff, or really anyone in that area that needs some support.
I can't encourage it enough to at least stop by, because if they're not interested in therapy and in resources right now, in the next coming weeks, that very much can change. Trauma is really changing, ever changing. And so we wanted them to know that whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, 3 weeks, 3 months, a year from now, we're all going to be here.
The center is open until 5 today, but will be open again tomorrow from 9 till 1 in the afternoon. Let's take a look outside on this Thursday afternoon. We've seen some rain in places, heavy rain, a little thunder. Our weather impact team keeping an eye out on all of that tonight. We're tracking scattered showers here, there, and everywhere. Kathy?
We picked up about 1/10 of an inch of rain in the gauge here at the 9 News studios, Kim, in about the last hour. And so we've gone back to sunshine now, but the trend for showers will be there tonight and again tomorrow. We have those dark clouds off in the distance and a bit of that tropical monsoon moisture streaming back into Colorado. 78 here at the 9 News studios, a cool 69 at DIA with 90s on the map in southeastern Colorado. Tracking the wind as well, which has been gusty with some of these isolated storms moving from the southwest to the northeast. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and some brief heavy downpours in areas like Rio Blanco County near the Meeker area and the Lee fire burn scar. We have a flash flood warning out until 5:45, seeing some heavy rain and potential mudslide potential in that area. The scattered showers have moved northeast out of Denver, outside of Keensburg now, Byers and Agate, and the flood concerns continue in central and southwestern Colorado with a flash flood watch out through tomorrow. We have the chance of another round of showers here in Denver between now and midnight, and we're going to do this all over again tomorrow. If you're out and about this evening, temperatures are comfortable in the 70s now. They'll stay there until probably about 11 o'clock at night before dropping down into the 60s. Coming up, another check of the radar, your Friday storm outlook, and how about some sunshine and a warmer and drier weekend? We will have details on that coming up.
Kathy, thank you. The FBI has released pictures of a new person of interest in yesterday's shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Investigators also have new evidence to help in the search. Here's a look at that person of interest. The FBI says he blended in on the Utah Valley University campus, but they believe he fired one shot from the roof of a nearby building, then ran off, heading through a neighborhood. They have talked with those residents and are working to get any and all video from those homes. Investigators say they found the high-powered rifle that was used, along with a palm print and a forearm imprint.
Today marks 24 years since the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. 2,977 people were killed when hijacked planes crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. In New York City, moments of silence were held at 8:46 a.m. and 9:03 a.m. The times the North and South Tower of the World Trade Center were struck. In Virginia, a memorial service was held at the Pentagon, where a moment of silence was held at 9:37, the time the plane crashed. And in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, many gathered at the Flight 93 National Memorial to remember the passengers and the crew who stormed the cabin and fought back against the hijackers. President Trump attended the Pentagon service and spoke about how the world seemed to stop that day.
That terrible morning 24 years ago, time itself stood still. The laughter of school children fell silent. The rush of our traffic came to an absolute halt. And for 2,977 innocent souls and their families, the entire world came crashing down so suddenly.
Here in Colorado, there were multiple memorials honoring those who lost their lives. One of those was the memorial stair climb at Red Rocks Amphitheater. This marks the 17th year that firefighters dressed in full gear and many other Coloradans walk up and down the stairs there, just like the countless firefighters did in the Twin Towers, trying to save as many people as they could. Every year, there's also a memorial service held at the 9/11 Memorial in Broomfield.
North Metro Fire Rescue Battalion Chief Scott McCabe helps put on that event. He was on their fire truck 24 years ago. And 24 years later, he wants people to know the goodness of humanity also shined that day.
There were so many heroes on that day, strangers helping strangers. You didn't have to have a fire department uniform or police department or be a doctor or a nurse. There were complete strangers, just helping people, carrying people, away from the rubble or out of the Pentagon to safety. It was human beings helping human beings. That's what I would love to see come out of this. Out of all the horror, there was some beauty that came out of that on that day.
Do you remember? I mean, of course
Those
you remember.
stories,
Do you remember those
so
stories?
many incredible stories, and people putting their lives on the lines, and also you just think about the people on that plane, the heroes that stepped
Yep.
up. It changed everything, changed the way we fly,
Yep.
changed the way we do so many things. But there's so many people that did some incredible
Right.
things that day, and
many
were
just-
real heroes.
Right. They always talk about how you're either going to run to the fire, so to speak, or run away from it. So many people, so many New Yorkers went right into those buildings, carrying people on their backs. I mean, the unity that day and the months following was something that I think we do need to remember.
We do need to remember, and if you're ever there, you have to go to that memorial.
know.
And
It's chilling,
experience it.
right?
It's hard.
It is.
It's hard,
Yep.
but we can't forget. We can't forget.
Never forget.